we go with JavaScript tutorial number 6. Quick review, we have an image that when we hover the mouse over it, it changes, as well as changing the text down here. We can also change the images and the text with these buttons, and we can change just the text with this button. Now let's start getting into Now let's start getting into variables a little bit and adding and subtracting numbers. So let's go down here to our code, and what we're going to do is we're going to put this hello world header into a div tag. So we'll just say tag div, and we're going to say ID equals, we'll just call it div1, and we'll close that off over here. Okay, so now we have a div with an ID tag, so we can edit all the HTML inside this div with a JavaScript function. So let's go up here to our functions, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new function. So in our script portion of the code here, we're going to say function, and we'll call it title add. Then we'll put on our little braces here. Then we're going to say, as before, document dot get element by ID, and the ID we just set for that, I forgot already. All right, div1, div1. And we're going to say dot inner HTML equals, and then we'll just say h1 tag for header 1, and we'll just say new, and then we'll finish that off, close it up, and we'll do a semicolon at the end of the line there. Now we need to create a button for that function. So we'll just come down here. I'm going to start putting the new buttons right here underneath the last button. So we'll do an HTML line break here, and then we'll say button. What type is it? It is a button. And let's put those in quotes. You don't have to, but I think it's a little more proper. We'll say on click equals, and then the function that we want to run, and the function is called title add, the function we just created. Don't forget your quotes or parentheses there. Close out that tag, give the button name. We'll call it title add, and we'll close off the tag for the button here. Now if we save this, you'll see when the page refreshes up here. Oh, I didn't save it. There we go. When the page refreshes up here, you can see we have a button here that says title add, and if you watch the hello world, when I click that, yay, it says new. So why do we call it title add? Because we're actually going to start using a few little variables here and start adding some stuff. So let's come up here to our header, and then we'll go inside our JavaScript tags, and we're going to create a variable called x. We'll say x equals 0. We'll come back down here to the function we just created of add title, and what we'll do is we'll put a little space here and close off with quotes, put quotes there, and then we're going to add that variable in between here. So right here we've got x, so it should say new space whatever x equals, and in this case 0. So we'll save that. Page refreshed up here, we'll hit title add, and you see it says new 0. No matter how many times you click that, it's going to say new 0 because x always equals 0. Well, let's make x incrementally go up. So what we'll do is inside our function here, we'll say x equals plus plus x, and I think that's right. We will now save this, and now when we hit title add, you can see it says new 1. Click it again, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it'll just keep on going as long as you're clicking it. That's great. Let's add another function here. We'll say function title title minus, we'll call this one. And we'll put down our squiggly bracket braces here, and we'll say document dot get element by ID. And once again, we're working with the ID for our div, which is div1. We're going to hit the inner HTML. We're going to set it equal to basically the same thing. not just basically, exactly the same thing. We're going to say new, we'll say space, we'll say plus, we'll say x, we'll say plus, we'll say space. And then inside these quotations, not forgetting to end with a semicolon, we'll close out the header1 tag with a tag like so. So at this point, that's going to not really change anything. We need to add in here x equals minus minus x. So if I didn't say this earlier, and I should have, x equals plus plus x, we'll add 1 to whatever x is every time that is run. Minus minus x should subtract 1 every time. So we will save this, and the page refreshes. So now, if I click add, we can do that. I just realized we have not added a button for the minus function yet. So we'll come down here, and we will say button type equals button on click. So when it's clicked, we are going to title minus, don't forget your parentheses, close your quotations. We'll say title minus for the title or the text on this button, and we will close out our button here. I will save it, and now we'll do add, and you can see the number going up. If we do title minus, you can see the number going down, and it will go down into negative numbers. So that's a very basic look at variables, simple variables, and adding and subtracting in increments. We'll have more on this in future tutorials. I thank you for watching. Please visit the links in the description, my website, filmsbychris.com, that's Chris with a K, and I hope that you have a great day.